See, how come you Canadians never do the Canadian things? Like, how come Albertans don't go to the Stampede? What's going on?
Hold on.
I feel like me as an immigrant, I've done more like of the Canadian stuff.
Can you really see me down there wearing a fucking flannel shirt and that fucking cowboy hat?
Can you see me there? I'm still there. I go there to experience the culture, man.
Hello and welcome to another episode of 7 Days Makes 1 Week. I'm Freddie P, back in the place to be. Zach's very humid sauna this week. Zach is back behind the camera doing what he usually does, dabbing, audio, video, producing, everything that he does. He's going to whip up some fucking crazy food, I'm sure. We haven't seen it yet though, but every week he's got a different masterpiece. Immediately to my left, I fucked that up. Immediately to my left is Young Meek, back in the place to be, throwing up gang signs. And to his left is Big Dan. Do you care if I say your last name?
No, I don't. I got nothing
Big
to
Dan
hide.
Zaretsky on the other, because I was going to do that 2 weeks ago, and then I was like, Big Dan D, because I was like, maybe he doesn't want his last name out there. But anyway, Big Dan Zaretsky there at the end. How was everybody's week?
Good.
Good.
No complaints.
Well, thanks for the content input there. Good. All right, moving on.
Everyone make sure you like, subscribe, share, give us feedback, comments, send us
love
any
you,
questions, responses, whatever you want.
Because Josh was here last week, and I definitely forgot to say all that shit to the end again. So thank you, Dan. Rate, fucking like, review, comment, subscribe, share, do all that shit to help us get 6 more viewers, because we would really appreciate it. What about you, Zach? Anything going on back there besides everything?
No, just had a long freaking hot week. And yeah, just happy to be here with the boys.
Yeah. Work was good. Warm. Slack. Well, it's been busy, but not really busy because the guy that I work with and myself were like so ahead of the game that we just do a little bit of work and nobody's really on our ass. And yeah, like Saturday. Hopefully my boss doesn't watch this. We didn't really do all that much on Saturday, to be completely honest. It was very, very slack.
That's all right. Everyone needs a slack day or two. What about you, Dan? Anything new going on in your life?
No, just enjoying working in an air-conditioned office these days. No more out in the heat.
Lucky fuck.
Sweating my balls off. But, yeah, that humidity this week's just been killing everybody, so glad to be inside.
Yeah, when I went to Dan's dealership on Friday, and I was walking from my vehicle, too. It was just like all that heat coming off the pavement. I was like, fuck me, it's hot out here. Cannot wait to get in that goddamn building. That's the weird thing about the building that I work in, is that the room that we actually, like the pre-roll room, the room with the machine that we make pre-rolls out of, is like super air-conditioned because the weed has to like acclimatize and stuff like that, and I'm not even sure if my NDA, if I can say those numbers and shit, but it's like pretty decently cool in there. But then the rest of the building like doesn't have any AC. So you're like dying of fucking heat over there, and you walk over there and it's like almost like standing in a cooler. It's fucking fantastic.
You're not allowed to disclose how cold.
I don't know if I
could be
the thing
trade
is that
secrets,
like
right?
we're kind of
Yeah,
leading the industry, and we had to do a lot of like R&D on this equipment that cost us dimes, so we're not necessarily going to go tell competitors
Yeah.
the way the
I got
promised
that.
land, you know
They
what I
can
mean?
spend their own money doing that R&D, you know? Don't got to give them the free R&D.
No, fuck
that's
that.
One of the biggest expenses companies have.
For my company, it was probably the biggest one minus the actual $1 million machinery that came from our company, was just figuring this shit out.
Yeah.
So fuck another company. They got to figure it out on their own. Fuck them.
Sink or swim.
Straight up.
Drip or drown, baby.
This isn't even necessarily about that situation, but you don't even want to tell the company that you bought the thing from. Like, if I bought something from you,
Yeah,
and then I had to do R&D, I'm not turning around and telling you, fuck you, man. Like, I'm not giving you free research.
Give me a
Fuck
discount
you.
on the second machine, or give me free service or
100%.
warranty for so and so long. Then I'll tell you the info.
Facts. And it's weird, because when you don't work in the business world, you're like, whatever, I'll do it. Fuck a favor, man. Favors don't exist. Fuck favors.
Business is black and white. It's just
Straight
numbers
up,
on a sheet,
dude.
dog. Like,
Straight up, dollars and cents. That's all it's about.
You have to scratch my back and then I'll scratch yours.
Funny thing about my back is it's located on my cock.
It's cool, whatever. It's cool.
Yeah, Mike's Hard Lemonade. Get that for show.
Yeah.
Get that for show. Oh fuck, that's probably one of the best comedy. Superbad is so fucking funny, man. I love that goddamn movie.
He's the fastest man alive.
He's the fastest man alive.
Just vomits everywhere.
It's like all-star cast right there.
Right?
Man.
Like so many people even like kind of got their jump. Like Jonah Hill, like that was the first movie anybody ever saw Jonah Hill in, and now he's like the fucking man.
Yeah.
Michael Cera. Whatever happened to like Fogel though? Everyone like thought he was gonna be a star after that movie, and then I think he was like too typecast. No one He was in Kick-Ass 2 as the bad guy, and I haven't seen him in anything ever since.
He's been in a couple films. I watched one the other night that I can't remember the name of, but he's just like a buddy. I think he's kind of, like you said, been typecast as just like the bro or like that, like the token guy almost.
Same with Michael Cera though. He didn't.
Yeah, he's like the Fogel guy's cast as like the nerdy friend who's like awkward and nerdy, where Michael Cera's now like that like very dry, kind of person. He's the same guy in Juno, right? Superbad ended and then he knocked up a girl and Juno started. Like it's the same
Pretty
exact
much,
role. Elliot Page, yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Thoughts? Thoughts on Elliot Page?
I don't know. Wonder if she lopped her. Oh, I guess it's a dude now, eh?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Ellen Page is now Elliot Page.
I was gonna say.
Do
I thought
they,
it was the other way around.
do they use he pronouns or is it they them? Or
No,
is
there's
it
a he.
Okay,
he,
I think it's he.
I wasn't
it's
sure.
he, him.
I don't keep up
He,
with that
him,
stuff.
they, them.
No, but he means specifically Elliot Page.
Yeah.
Do they refer to themselves as they, them, or he,
Yeah.
him?
Oh,
I'll check it out.
I don't know, man. Pronouns are.
Pronouns are a fucked up thing, man. There's
I was gonna say
a
they're
they
gay,
them at
but-
the gas station that's by my house, and I stopped there the other day, and like they're all like younger-ish kids, but there's two of them that I like bullshit with sometimes, and I go and they're like, "Yo, what's up, man? How's it
What's
going?"
up, man?
Da, 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 da. But I didn't even look. But I knew that their name tag says they them. So like I've seen this person before. I'm aware. Yesterday it was so fucking hot. I go in there to get like a Slurpee or whatever, and I didn't even look at the counter. I just turned and went right to the Slurpee place, and I'm looking. There's no straws, and I literally turned. And I was getting ready, like, "Yo, my man, there's no straws," and I was like, "Yo." And then in my head I was like, "Wait a minute, Fred, that might not be my man." And I turned around and it was the they them person working. I was like, "Yo, there's no straws." But whatever.
See, I feel like if they make it known, I try to be respectful and try to respect using that pronoun or using non-gendered pronouns. But I mean, if I have no fucking clue and people get pissed, I feel
I'll
that's
give
unreasonable.
you the respect if your
if
name
inform
tag
me,
says they or them or
100%,
whatever,
I'll try my best.
I'll give. But if I've never met you before, we're at a smoke pit in a bar, and I'm like, "Oh, you guys going to do this?" I'll refer to my girlfriend and her friends as you guys. I don't you girls. I don't say that. Oh, you guys gonna go do this? You gonna go meet us there? So if I say that and you're one of those people, don't be like, "Sorry, are you they going like? Are them they gonna go like? Don't." I call girls dude all the time, and I call guys bitches all the time. Like they're not mutually exclusive in my head.
Yeah, I agree.
Yo, what up, they?
Yo, them. What's up?
Yo, what's up, them?
It's just
One
like-
guy?
Yeah,
one
guy.
individual
One-
walks
one
in, they were
individual?
just there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, what? You'd be so confused. Man, I bet some old people don't have no clue about this shit. Imagine trying to tell your hella old grandparents or something, and like, they were just
my
doing this, and
grandparents
one
are all
person
dead. My
walks in.
dad's 70. My dad ain't even got time for that shit. Oh, yeah, my dad's like 71 or 72.
Do you have older siblings?
I have an older sibling, but he's only, like, I was born November of 89. He was born January of 87, so he's like
So it's not
2
like,
years.
It's not like they had one kid, waited 10 years, and had another.
No,
Oh,
my
interesting.
dad's 72, and my mom's 72 minus 7, 65.
Five. Cool.
So your dad was busy pimping, couldn't have kids, or what?
I don't know. I don't know about pimping, but he was just out there doing his thing, and I think at one point they kind of wanted to wait, like, financially. Like, I think they wanted a couple years.
That's fair.
I think it was only like 2 or 3 years before my brother came, but something like that. But yeah, I got old parents.
Well, that's all good. A couple of years of, like, you know, living like a lower end lifestyle can set you up financially for the rest of your life. So like making that decision, those 2 or 3 years can make a huge difference.
Bro, you don't even know. You've seen my parents' house, right? You've been there before?
Yeah, it's a nice property.
Like, pretty nice house, blah, blah,
it's
blah.
It's a nice RV and shit.
Dude, one day I'll take you to the house that they lived in before that. It was literally a fucking crack shack on 82nd Street. Like,
bumming.
1,000%, 82nd and 124th, a fucking crack shack. And then all of a sudden he moved to like the nicest house in the neighborhood. I was like, Dad, what the fuck happened here? He's like, I told my mom, or he told my mom, they drove past their now house one day, and he said, when we get married, or if I get this job, I think he was like trying to be in politics or something, and he said, if I get elected, I'll buy you that house. And he didn't get elected, and then he did it anyway. But then my mom heard that story, and then later in the day was like, yeah, when my parents came from Ontario the first time, and I took them to that house, like the crack house, my dad like pulled me aside and was like, do you really love this man? Because like, look at this fucking house he's got you living in. Like, what the fuck is happening? And like actually like questioned my mom and my dad's relationship. But my mom's a fucking soldier, so she wrote it out, and now they got the fucking nicest house in the goddamn neighborhood. So that's sick.
That's solid.
Yeah, it's pretty legit.
Yeah, started from the bottom. Now they're there. Is there anything else you guys want to talk about? I know we got a series of questions, some listener-based, some out of Zach's twisted head. But is there any... the Stampede's going on this week. You guys ever be a big Calgary Stampede people?
Never been.
Me neither. I've never...
What?
Didn't you go to watch a rap concert a couple years ago? The Big Sean, Lil Wayne, or was that just a festival?
Oh, that was just a festival, yeah. That
Wait,
was...
was Lil Wayne there?
No,
I was going to say, because if you've seen Lil Wayne live and I haven't, that's a fucking shame.
Nah, it was called...
It was like Big Sean, Logic.
Big Sean, Logic, Tyler the Creator was there. Fuck, who else was there?
Was it out in BC or where was it?
No, it was just in Calgary.
Nice.
Just in Calgary. You should look it up, Zach, and see what it was called.
Just type in like Big Sean, Logic, Calgary.
Yeah, Big Sean, Logic, Calgary. It's a 2-day festival. This was like 4 or 5 years ago.
At least.
At least, yeah. It was pretty sick, actually. But it was cold as fuck out there. Probably like +2.
While we wait for that, is there any other, if we've never really done much on the Stampede, we can touch on that as well, but if any of you guys like big music festival people, you ever been to a lot of music festivals?
Oh.
I mean, I know you and I did it up at Boonstock that one year, which was fantastic.
I went to a lot of raves.
Yeah.
It was apparently called the Cowboy Stampede Tent. 2017, Big Sean.
The Cowboy Stampede tent?
I don't think so. It was like an
nah,
actual...
man. It was like a legit event. Like...
I think the Stampede...
Was it called Bumbershoot?
No.
I think the Stampede brings Big Sean quite a bit. He's there this year. I saw a snap. He was there a couple days ago.
That's what's invading my Bing search history right now.
The organizers probably have a good connection to his manager or something, or talent booking agent. Well, I used to DJ and I used to promote for like all kinds of events and shit like that all the time. Oh, yeah. Well, I didn't work for Boudang. I used to attend every Boudang event, but a couple of smaller like event organizers and stuff like that.
One Love Music Festival is what
nice.
It's called.
Solid. And yeah, so I've been to pretty much every music festival that there is annually in Alberta at least once. And I've been to BC and shit like that for music festivals and shit. So
sick.
Yeah,
you had gotten out of DJing by the time the two of us became friends, but were you like a hip-hop DJ, an EDM DJ?
Both. I used to like spinning a lot of trap and Moombahton and some electro house.
Oh, hold on. I don't. You just might as well be speaking Mandarin.
Different electronic genres, and then hip-hop.
What was the second one you said?
Moombahton.
Yeah, that's the one that made me say, what? What is that?
That's got some heavy African influences. Correct?
Oh, yeah, like African or like...
like Caribbean drums?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that. So more like the BPM is different. It's more like reggae electro with like a reggaeton like energy. You know. So
I know what you're saying. Yeah, the mix in between like reggae music and like dance music.
Yeah,
or, like,
exactly.
Electric dance music
So pretty electric house lines, but like the synth of the house, but like the drums of like. Yeah, reggaeton or...
And then the word trap music for electronic music always confused me because the way I was raised, trap music is like T.I. and Young Jeezy. Like when I think of a trap, it's like T.I., Young Jeezy, and Gucci Mane.
Yeah,
those are trap rappers.
Trap music is just essentially just the beats without the instrumentals, right? It's more
No, without the lyrics.
Sorry, yeah, without the lyrics. My bad. I haven't smoked yet, so that's my fault. I ain't right yet. Yeah, it is essentially just hip hop instrumentals without like lyrics and shit like that.
So, like, in theory, one of those songs I should be able to, in my head, like, hear Young Jeezy
You can easily rap over that. Yeah. Like, it's... Because, like, trap music is more, like... Yeah, like, South influence.
Yeah.
Just like T.I. and shit like that. And, I mean, that's a lot of those... Where those producers came from, right? Like... But, I mean, hell, there's some hella dirty UK trap producers and shit like that. Like, you know, and, like, they all have their own influences, right? Each region is a little different, right? Like, you have... UK trap is a lot more... UK hip hop,
Grimy.
grime music
yeah.
inspired. Thank you. Then like drill music from like Chicago, or,
yeah, that is,
you know,
completely
you know,
different.
yeah,
sound,
like each area has its own like style. But I mean, trap music is just heavy, like hip hop beats essentially, with more of an electric based thing. But I mean, nowadays everything is electronically based when it comes to hip hop production. There's very few sampling going on nowadays compared to like back in the day,
or
right?
even
like,
actual instrument
yeah,
playing.
like the only people sampling are like the real music guys, like, you know, J. Cole, Kanye, all those guys.
Or the guys that are like nowhere near that top tier because samples are easy to get a hold of.
Yeah, 100%.
Like, it's easier to take samples than it is to buy your own drum kit and shit like that.
100%.
Well, since none of us have really ever done the Stampede thing, let's just talk about music festivals for a little bit. I went to Boonstock a couple times in a row, and then I went to BC to go to Center of Gravity. I think that's the only music festival I've ever been to, or is those ones.
See, how come you Canadians never do the Canadian things? Like, how come the Albertans don't go to the Stampede? What's going on?
Hold on.
I feel like me as an immigrant, I've done more like of the Canadian stuff.
Can you really see me down there wearing a fucking flannel shirt and a fucking cowboy hat?
Can you see me there? I'm still there. I go there to experience the culture, man. I gotta experience that. Right? Like, you don't have to be like that. You don't gotta be like Trudeau and go there in a fucking cowboy hat, even though that's not your personality at all.
I think I had a different perception of what it actually was for a large part of my life. Like, I thought it was like Big Valley Jamboree.
Yeah.
Mixed with K-Days, which it's not. Big Valley Jamboree, for anybody that doesn't know, is like a massive country music festival that's been happening in Alberta for like 20 years or some dumb shit.
Yeah.
Like, everyone my whole life when I was single, early 20s, like, yo, let's go to BVJ. It's a fucking, there's girls everywhere. You'll see some titties. I was like, if you don't get laid, you must be fucking dumb, deaf, and retarded. Like, it's the fucking greatest party. There's fucking liquor, drugs, women everywhere. And I'm like, yeah, but I don't want to listen to Garth Brooks for 3 fucking days. Like, I do not want to do that.
One of the few festivals I've never been to. I just can't.
Like, I can't. So I thought the Stampede was that.
Yeah.
Now I find out it's actually like Big Sean and Snoop Dogg and Ice Cube and shit.
The
plays
Offspring
there.
was there too. Pretty sure.
Yeah. So like, I could do that.
Even like the grandstand show at the end of the night is fire too. Like, they have like crazy like live performances, like where there's, you know, like it's all music based. There's like acrobatics. There's fucking guys on dirt bikes
Like
doing
Cirque du
jumps.
Soleil shit.
Yeah, exactly. There's fireworks and shit like that. That alone is like pretty fire. The K-Days stuff's cool if you like your rides, you like your carnival, that type of foods and shit like that. And yeah, like, it's just a huge party. It's a lot of alcohol, you know, a lot of people drinking. So like, you don't really hear too much country music. You see a lot of country around you, like you see all the cowboy boots and hats, but it ain't about the music.
I already said it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, one love music festival is the festival that I was talking about, but I did end up saying it earlier.
I wasn't paying attention.
Yeah, I think you were Googling.
You're doing research, yeah.
Yeah, you were Googling.
Well, what's your guys' favorite concert and/or music festival you've ever been to?
The best concert.
I know you were a decent fan of live music, so it's an interesting question for you.
The best concert that I ever been to, for, I don't want to say cinematic purposes, but because that's
Visuals.
the Metallica concert when the Metallica came here back in 2002.
Oh, wow.
No. 2012. Sorry, 2002. Fucking 12 years old. 2022 or 2019 or some shit, and they made a movie. They made
a performance DVD.
Yes, they had, but it was also a movie.
Oh, really? Like a storyline and shit?
Yeah, but the thing about the movie is the guy who is the main character does not say one word throughout the whole fucking movie. So they had 2 shows here and 2 shows in Vancouver, and they took some from both shows and made it into the movie. But like they had fucking things coming down from the ceiling. You had to wear 3D glasses and shit to see everything.
Just a full experience.
It was a full experience. I would say that was like the best. Jesus Christ.
Sorry, that's me, man.
Okay, no worries. Well,
That's funny when I can always tell when I watch them back when him and I both look at our phone at the same time. It's always our group chat.
Yeah,
or Franny.
It's just been going off like a motherfucker.
Yeah, I was just trying to post a vid real quick.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. That's probably like the best like performance that I've been to. Some of my favorites is probably be like
I remember you liked System of a Down's concert a lot.
System of a Down. I was gonna say System of a Down. I went and watched them.
Serge Tankian.
I was getting super blazed, man. Like fucking. I remember I was sitting up at the top, and right on the railing or whatever, and there was like somebody walking by. And I just got this big joint. I was like. Fucking right in their faces they walk by. Like I was with my ex at the time. I was just like, man, this is fucking sick. And then Nickelback puts on a sick performance. They got mass pyro, like fucking. That's like 20 or 30 feet high, just big flames in the air. They were super sick. Tool was fucking awesome.
I'm pretty sure I said it on the podcast. I've never seen I've seen lineups for 30 concerts at Rexall Place. I never saw one even remotely as big as I did Nickelback. It was retarded.
Yeah,
I saw
man.
Motley Crue's lineup. I've seen fucking Alice in Chains lineup. I've seen Guar lineups. I've seen so many rock bands when I was working with the Bear. I can't even remember a bunch of their names. Probably like Five Finger Death Punch, bunch of those people. None of their lines were even remotely as big as Nickelback. You guys all know Rexall Place when you walk out of the LRT and there's the door on the left and the bridge across 118th. The door came from Rogers all the way and started coming back over that bridge. It was fucking massive.
Yeah, dude. People hate on Nickelback, but a lot of people like them, man, because they're actually like a legitimate band. I think they're all right.
Hannah, Alberta. Let's go. I think it just
Represent.
became cool to hate on them at some point. So some
Exactly,
people started
for
hating
sure.
on them. But like they're really like,
But everyone's singing along with them when it comes on the radio because we all know every word to every song for
Right.
the most part.
Look at this photograph.
This is how you remind
me. That's the one that I would have went to. This is how you remind me. What about you, Dan? What's your favorite concert you've ever been to? Sorry, I kind of cut you short, Nico, but
That's fine.
In what way? Like,
Whatever way you
there's
want.
different.
That's
if
your
it's like on
favorite
Nico
memory.
standards, like visuals and like crowd participation, I always love Coldplay. Whenever Coldplay comes to town, good
Sick.
audience participation and like super nice visuals, super cool. Like I don't know, they just put on a great show. They've been performing for many years and
Coldplay's sick.
they always do a good job. I've seen them twice when they've come here. But my favorite show was probably the Capleton show in Amsterdam. So I was there. I was there for a cannabis cup in November of 2016. Went to the judge
Really?
the competition. Oh yeah.
How the fuck did you get?
Looks at me like I was about to ask the same fucking question. I don't know the answer. I don't know the answer to that question. I know Dan used to be or was quite involved in the cannabis community, and a lot of people that I've met in the cannabis community, he knows of them and he's met them and he things like that. He's got some connections in the world.
When I enjoy something, I delve
Cool.
a lot of my attention into that subject, and then
Dan's a very balls deep kind of guy.
the reason I used to
put the head
promote
in.
so much, like I'm really good at networking. Like my networking skills are pretty fucking good. So when I like something and I want to get, I'm a purist. I'm a connoisseur when it comes to cannabis. So
Okay.
I want to get as close to the source and as like fresh and exotic as I can.
So with that being said, when you're at one of those judging, I always thought about this. When you're at one of those judging shows, how do you like say you smoke do you smoke a joint of this weed and then smoke another joint of this weed
So-
and then
The cup was a couple of days. It was like 4 nights of events, with the final night being like the announcement of the winner. So, who was it? Night 1, it was Farside. You guys know the hip hop group Farside? Mm-hmm. You know too, Fred. You just don't know. Like you don't know.
It's spelled like Fat Farms.
Yeah, like
PH.
Pharcyde. Farside is an
It doesn't
OG.
ring a bell.
if you hear the songs.
Have you heard of
Actually, maybe.
they're kind of like not Earth Gang, who Flatbush Zombies.
Yeah,
Oh,
look,
I've
but
heard
like old
Flatbush
school.
Zombies.
I
Look
like
up who the
Flatbush
members
Zombies a
are
little bit.
of Far Side, because there's a couple of guys. I'm pretty sure. Maybe they've had solo careers. That
Is
they know
it
of.
usually written in a red font? The Far Side?
I can't remember.
That is the Far Side, and it's Emanu, Slim Kid 3, Booty Brown, Fat Lip,
Booty Brown?
and DJ Mark Love.
How?
I've never heard of any
What
of
year were they like?
1989, South Central
Yeah.
Los Angeles.
Yeah, so like they're old school. Really good performance. But so that was night one. Night two was some rappers from the UK, Danka England, and stuff like that. So we had Black the Ripper, R.I.P. Black the Ripper, and night three was Capleton, who is a huge old school reggae guy. He's probably in his 70s now. He's a huge reggae artist from Africa. Or is he from Jamaica? No, I think he's from Africa. That was the best fucking concert I've ever had. The crowd participation is ridiculous, man. I've never seen such a large group of African immigrants in a European venue in my life. Because I grew up in Germany, but I've never seen that much, that many Africans in one room in Europe at once. And they were fucking singing every single song at the top of the lungs, and like the vibe of the room was fire.
The energy.
Yeah, plus everyone was lit as fuck. Like,
Yeah.
There's a venue you could smoke in and shit like that. But back to Nico's question. So there's a list of participating coffee shops in that cup. You get a wristband. That wristband allows you to buy usually 2 strains of weed and 2 or 3 strains of hash that coffee shop is putting up for the competition. So only people who are judging are able to buy that stuff. So it's the best of their best, right? So you go around, you have 3 or 4 days to go and try all these different selections at all these different stores. And yeah, like, you know, some people smoke fucking poppers. Some people smoke spliffs. Some people smoke pure
Poppers
joints.
is tobacco and...
But in Europe, it's extremely hard to find someone who smokes pure cannabis.
Really?
It's always spliff stock, and it's like a 70-30 tobacco favored split.
Really?
I wouldn't even want to hit that.
Cannabis is really expensive in Europe. I don't smoke that, right? That's why everyone rolls their own fucking joints. Like when me and my Canadian homies and shit went there and we're smoking pure joints, everyone looks at you like you're the fucking king, because they're like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
A, how's this guy affording that? And B, how's this guy like not passing out, bro? This you go to coffee shops in Amsterdam, man. All these kids from the UK come, you know, they're freshly 18. They're like, fuck yeah, they come over and shit, man. These guys are passing out, they're greening out and shit, man. Like it's hilarious.
Rookies.
They eat this fucking 20 milligram like space cake brownie and they're fucking dying. They just passed out in a corner of the room and you're just laughing. You're like, pussies.
Pussios. You
Yeah.
gotta say it so they understand.
But yeah, like, you know, it's whatever you prefer, and then you judge it, right? So that's why there's like a couple hundred participants that are judges, and we all submit our votes to what we think was the best sativa strain, the best hybrid strain, the best indica strain, the best hash sativa and indica, and then the best hash like quality overall. Like which one was your favorite hash overall? Which one was your favorite weed overall? Which was the cleanest? And then there's also tests. They all submit their tests, like their samples, to the hemp museum. And Buddy there analyzes all of them, and they do full chemical breakdowns to tell you, hey, this was the strain with the highest THC in the competition, all that stuff like that. And I don't know, it's pretty cool. It's a couple hundred people judging this shit. And
I think the one thing that Nico was kind of alluding to, which I've also thought, and I also think about
how do
it
you
when it
cleanse
comes
your palate
to
in
like,
between or whatever?
yeah, like when people go to
Yeah.
like wine testing, it's like when you're testing your 8th joint, how do you really know that was like, oh man, the
See,
high for this joint was so
well,
much better
listen,
than
listen,
joint
listen,
2?
no,
Like you're
no.
8 joints deep.
Exactly,
So,
yes.
people that go there to judge, like myself, we're not. We could smoke 40 joints that day and we'd be alright. Like, we're gonna still go to the event at night and everything's gonna be fine.
Oh yeah, Dan, me
So
and
the
you can
high
smoke
doesn't
weed
judge. Yeah,
all day. Like
100%. That's what
But-
I'm saying. The high doesn't. Like, that's not what we're judging it for. We're judging it for taste, cleanliness, and like the feeling it gives you on top of that. Because there's so much weed that you can smoke in Amsterdam that'll get you high. That'll get you feeling alright. But like the weed of these competitions, what I look for is the stuff that gives you a little extra kick. Like the stuff that makes you tingle in a spot where it only tingles when you take like a fat dab or something like that. Like there's some weeds that'll hit me like either right in the ear or right behind the eyes or they make my fingers tingle, and like that's what I look for in a special strain. That's what I'm looking for when I go there. But I mean,
I've definitely felt that. You've seen me feel the behind the eyes at your house. I'm sitting there
I've had the behind the eyes feeling, and the only
Yeah.
time I've ever had the tingling fingers was when a panic attack was coming on.
nah, no. That's
you were
just
gonna
like
say
that's straight up. Like
cocaine.
that's like when like the THC is like rushing through me. That's like the cannabinoids attaching themselves to my endocannabinoid system in my body. You know,
Yeah.
that's when it's like, that's when you know it's hitting the right spots. But yeah, man, you judge it just like, when you break down the bud, you look at the structure, you look at how dense it is, you look at how good it looks, what color the trichomes are. If they're too dark, that means it's been aged for too long. You want it like fresh. You want the terps to be there. Some of it isn't flushed properly. You always run into a sample or two that just isn't
They
as
run
good as
it
it
out
should
to
be.
get
Yeah,
there,
exactly,
yeah.
right? So like, there's definitely ways for you to judge that shit. The hash, I'm not as familiar with, but even my vote doesn't really matter that much on that. There's definitely in Europe, there's definitely a lot of like hash connoisseurs that are like, that's all they do, man. They have a fucking
Yeah.
massive Gandalf pipe, and they have a torch lighter, and they just hit hash. That's it. That's all they do. And those guys know what's up. But I mean, yeah, like the way the hash spreads, the way it folds, crumbles, whatever
yeah.
else, like. There's multiple things you can judge it on.
The
And I mean, there's so
color.
much different hash, man. You can get hash from Middle East, get hash from Northern Africa, you get some hash from South America, you get locally made hash, and like they're all different, man. Your blondes, your reds, blacks, some of them are milkier than the others. Some
Everyone
of them are
always says
smoother.
like Lebanese hash, right?
yeah,
Lebanese
yeah.
hash.
There's
is
a lot
the
of
shit.
there's red Moroccan and there's gold Lebanese and like
Yeah.
there's all kinds of shit, man. There's some like
Breakfast
proper
hash.
shit. Well, honestly, man, though, like if you're
Like, Talking
good
about
enough in the hash
browns
game.
right
Hey man, but there's some nice sativa hashes that those guys will smoke, man. They smoke that in the morning and it gets you going. The guys that really know their hashes, that's all they do, man. They smoke that shit. It's like oxygen for them, man. They feed off that. But no, if you ever get a chance to go, it's really worth it. So microphone the fucking joint. Do you mind if you toss me a lighter?
I got you, brother.
I apologize.
Well, you're pretty good at tossing, man. You put that thing right in my hand. You don't make catching it very hard.
I played
He's an
high
old
school-
baseball player.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Fuck, put that thing right in the glove.
Which
every
is a
time.
follow-up to a question that I have for you guys. When we're done talking about the concert.
Who's the best baseball catcher
no.
ever?
No.
Yeah.
Not even
Hold on,
close.
let me just do the.
Ham Porter.
You mean frickin'
Who the fuck is Hamm Porter? Like, what the fuck are we talking about right now?
yeah, we just
Nah, you guys don't get it. I'll tell you guys later about it. Keep going though. Yeah.
The
It's
fuck?
okay.
How did we get here? What the fuck?
Baseball.
I don't know. Whatever. The best concerts I've ever been to, experience-wise, was probably one of the Swollen Members concerts I went to. But that's just like different for me. I understand a lot of people wouldn't agree with that. It's just like a
they're done. Their time is up. It's a brand new beat, so turn it up.
turn it up. Yes, I got the background for you, bro. I know all the words. Actually, man, I met so many like good people through Swollen Members and shit. Like this guy named Forrest, like one of them, like a good friend of mine that I met through them and shit like that. Like, I'm actually really happy. Like Swollen Members became a joke because like the one Mad Child guy got into drugs and he just like became a joke because he started doing fucked up shit in the industry and whatnot. But like, I'm actually really glad that I had such a fan thing to them. I had a lot of good times going to their concerts, met a lot of good people, had a lot of good nights with a lot of good friends, and yeah, it was dope. Visually, probably the Drake concert, just because like he had a lot of shit going on, man. Like there was a bunch of lights in Rogers Place, and they all coming down and going up with the beat and doing a bunch of different colors. And
Was that the one with Migos?
no, I went to the one with Future. What?
I said Illuminati.
Oh.
Did any of you
no,
guys
it's the
see
one with
Kanye when he
Future.
came to town?
Yeah, I was
Negative.
just gonna say crowd participation, maybe Kanye, because like he didn't necessarily really participate with the crowd, so to say, but that floating, hovering stage was just fucking cool, man. Like, it was just fucking cool. If anyone doesn't know what I'm talking about, when Kanye was doing the Life of Pablo tour,
Is that when he had that like weird gold shimmery mask on too? Was that?
he
during
didn't
that
have a
tour?
mask on.
No.
It did. I don't know if that was part of that concert, but there was no stage. They sold 360-degree tickets all the way around the bowl, and then people where like the ice would be, there was like a floor section, and the stage is literally suspended above them, and there's lights underneath the stage, so you can almost actually see the crowd more than you can see Kanye, which sounds really fucked up because you're paying to see him. but it just made this really cool fucking vibe where he was like kind of in a shadow, and the stage moves around the whole space that it's got, and it kind of lowers over here, and he'll interact with those people, and it lowers over there, and then at the end it just lowers to one side, and he just walks off, and I don't know, man, it was pretty fucking cool. I never seen anything like that. But I also went to Center of Gravity in Kelowna a few years ago, and I got to see the whole Wu-Tang, like all of the living members of Wu-Tang perform. So like,
basically everybody except ODB.
Exactly.
Nice.
Which is fucking sick, dude.
That's
like,
very
that's
sick.
like,
really
that
rare.
was-
Who's your
That's
favorite
rare.
Wu-Tang member?
Method Man.
Inspect the Deck by far.
Inspect the Deck.
Yeah, he
Like-
does the intro to Triumph.
Oh yeah, I bomb atomically.
That's right.
Oh fuck.
No.
I bomb
Socrates'
atomically.
philosophies and high people-
hypotheses. The way that I be dropping these mockeries.
lyrically.
No love for
performed
Redman
robberies.
or what?
He's
Redman
not
was
part
never
of
in
Wu-Tang.
What?
He's
Redman
not part of
never in
Wu-Tang.
Wu-Tang.
He's a Capadonna. He's kind of just like around them, but not directly.
Honorary member. I
That's
would
right.
almost say.
Wild.
Yeah, no. Red Bad and
Wild.
Method Bad just coincidentally both had man at the end of their name.
Okay, no,
Yeah,
that's all good.
what do they call themselves? Meth and Red, and then like the Funk Doc and the Funky Doctor or something like that.
Yeah, I
because
just-
when they rap together, they had the little euphemisms. For
Yeah,
their names and
Red
stuff.
Meth, and then so I've seen them live actually like 2 or 3 times, the two of them, and like Redman, I saw him live, and then I saw him in an interview say this, and I can 100% say that he was being 1,000% honest. He's like, I've performed for 2,000 people, and I've performed for 20,000 people, and the show that they saw was the exact same every time. He says, I don't give a fuck if there's 50 people there. He goes, I'm not a rapper, I'm an MC. An MC means master of ceremony. I control this shit. This is my environment. I bring the energy. I bring everything. I don't give a fuck if there's 50 people. I'm still wilding out. 200,000 people, wilding out. And that is a fucking fact. I seen that motherfucker at Union Hall. So there was, what, like, maybe 500 people there? Maybe 1,000. I don't know how many Union Hall holds, but, like, he is sick live. And I'm not even a big Redman
Probably
fan.
not 1,000.
I think 800 people or so.
Something like that.
I think
yeah.
what it holds. Yeah, if both levels are sold and stuff like that. Yeah.
Well, what about the worst performance you've ever seen live? Is there one artist you saw and you were like, that was fucking trash? Because I have one.
Cage the Elephant.
French Montana.
Oh, well, he's just
French Montana is the worst person I have ever seen live in my fucking life, dude. He was supposed to be the headliner of that Center of Gravity show. There's only one cool thing that comes out of this story in my mind. You guys know my friend Scott. He's a DJ, whatever. When we went, I went out with him to Kelowna. The Airbnb we're staying at, we actually shared it with like 3 rappers that were there to perform. So one of them's name is Rich Kid. He's a rapper / producer, more successful producer than rapper from Ontario. Then a guy named Tona who was also with them, and then a guy named Taz Nada that was from Vernon, and the 3 of them are meeting there to perform a song because they had won a Juno for a song that the 3 of them had made together, so they were performing it. And they were just backstage in the artist area, and French Montana is supposed to... So when they performed, it's like Saturday at 2 o'clock. You know what I mean? There's a crowd, but it ain't that fucking crazy. Now it's Sunday at 10:30. French Montana's the headliner. They're hanging out backstage. Fucking, I'm good on that. They're hanging out backstage, and French Montana's late. He hasn't gotten there from the airport or whatever. So the producer dude's just like, you guys, you got your music on you? And dude's like, yeah, man, I got the jump drive in my pocket. What's up? Like, can you go out there right now and kill like 10 minutes? And they're like, yeah, of course we can. Like, we're professionals. So they got to go out there and fucking rock it for the whole festival. You know what I mean? They went from being just like Tuesday at whatever to the fucking... They're the guys right before the headliner now because this fucking guy's late. He showed up late, probably about a half hour, 45 minutes late. I understand a lot of people do like RIP segments to people. Avicii died? Or
Avicii died. Yeah.
Avicii died, right? Yeah. He does like RIP Kurt Cobain and plays Smells Like Teen Spirit in its entirety and just walks back and forth on the stage. Doesn't even ad-lib or anything. Just literally plays the whole song, walks back and forth. Then does the exact same thing for Avicii's Levels. Doesn't say a single fucking word. Lets the whole song play. And then plays like... Probably did like 5 songs before that. Played their 2 songs. Did 3 or 4 songs after and dipped. And I was like, this is fucking trash, bro.
Man was there for a paycheck.
Straight up.
That
yeah.
was the worst part of... And like... I was like, man, they should have made Wu-Tang the headliners.
Yeah.
Like, what's going on here?
See, when YG was in town and shit didn't quite go the way it was supposed to, that was probably the worst performance because of how it ended.
Was that where the massive fight broke
Yeah,
out?
that's when they were throwing bottles at the crowd and the crowd was throwing bottles at them.
Yeah, I knew a couple people. I wasn't at that show, but I know a bunch of people that were at that show.
Was that
like they started talking shit to YG, and then he started talking shit back, and they
was
like
it Encore or was it
they were throwing bottles at him, and him and his crew were throwing bottles at the crowd, like straight up.
Oh, straight fight, yeah, dog. YG never coming back to this place.
Never.
And
like at least one of the people that told me the story is like a wild dude.
Yeah.
And he was like, "Yeah, bro, like." Edmonton's not the place. They threw one, and all of a sudden, like 9 went back. Like people who had beef with each other, like going together. They're like, "Fuck this guy." It's like Edmonton's not the place to do that. I don't give a fuck if you're from Compton. I'm sure you're a gangster dude.
YG gangster, but like
Edmonton's not the place, bro. Edmonton's not the place.
I like YG though, so it's kind of sad, but
I don't mind them at all. Just Edmonton's not the place, bro.
Yeah, no, you can't be beefing with the crowd.
Try that somewhere else, man.
Yeah.
What about you? Cage the Elephant,
Cage the Elephant. I got another one as well, Lloyd Banks.
Yeah, I've seen Lloyd Banks live, and it was pretty trash.
Yeah, we saw him. We saw Lloyd Banks at... I saw him twice. Saw him once at... What's that place that Josh used to work at?
Diesel. And that's the concert I was at,
The second place he used to work at. The one in West Ed.
Encore or Empire
No, it was the one that was trying to be all fancy.
Whiskey Jack's?
Set
nightclub,
it had the fucking freezer or the...
Set nightclub, yeah. I was there too. I forgot about
that.
That
one wasn't too bad.
That one, the second one at like Diesel or YEG or whatever, terrible.
That one was horrible.
I fully agree.
I think he played like fucking 5 songs.
Dude,
or something
at one point
like that.
he was like, "What kind of music you guys want to hear?" I remember this clearly because I like when rappers do that. The Game, when we went to see were you with us when we went to see The Game, or was that Sean and Topher?
Sean and Topher.
Yeah,
I think.
you might not have been
I
there
don't think
because
I
you'd
was
seen
there
Young
for
Buck. I don't think you came to The Game.
Yeah.
The Game at one point said like, "Yo, what songs do you guys want to hear?" And all of us at one time were like 300 bars because it had just came out. 300 bars like a 14-minute fucking song.
300
We're
bars.
like 300 bars. 300 bars. He literally, I remember this shit clear as day. If I was cool with Dexter, Sean Topher, they'll remember this shit. Josh, he was like, "Y'all want to hear the mixtape shit? 300 bars." He did full 300 bars live. He said, "Yo, DJ, play that shit." And he did all of 300 bars live. Like,
see, that's fire.
I don't think that was planned, bro. I could have been like maybe I'm naive. I don't think that's because everyone was yelling mad different songs, but we were like, he heard 300 bars. He said, "Yo, you want to?" It could have been anything. And I don't think that was planned. When Lloyd Banks went to do that, I remember the guy next to me said "On Fire," which was his like first big song. And then I remember he said, "Nah, they didn't pay me enough for the hits." He's like, "I'm playing the B-sides." Like, he said that. "I ain't playing the hits. They didn't pay me enough for the hits.
Jesus.
I'm playing the B-sides." On stage. I was like, damn.
But that's money talks, yo. That's business. Like you said earlier, business is business. It's clear cut. It's numbers on a page, man. If the money ain't right, the money ain't right. Kodak Black just got locked up again.
Did he?
Dad
Yeah.
likes Kodak Black. I fucking hate that guy. I don't hate him,
I've been listening to Kodak Black. I was one of the first people, like Spotify let me know that year. It's like, you discovered new talents. You're in the 0.001% of people that listen to this guy first.
I remember when you sent me that screenshot. I was like impressed and disappointed in you at the same time.
Kodak's my boy. Kodak out here killing himself at this point. Like, fucking keep getting arrested, man. Yeah, they pulled him over and he had like 50 racks and 30 oxy pills on him. So they charged him for trafficking. And I mean, who knows? He's got a decent legal team, but you can only get locked up so many times and get out relatively quickly. Strikes. I mean, shit, the guy's done time, but like, definitely always much less than they could have nailed him for if they threw the book at him.
Wow. That is actually wild.
Yeah, man. I mean, I don't know how you can be that successful and still do so much dumb shit.
Yeah,
you
man.
Just keep getting locked up.
Man. It's in their
one time,
blood.
maybe 2, all right, but like this is like the 5th, 6th or something.
Old habits die hard, bro.
Bro, well, that just shows you the guy's truly living the hood life through and through, whether he's rich or he's poor. So.
You could take them out the hood, but you can't take the hood out of them.
Yeah. Straight up, though, man. I mean, that doesn't even, like, just go for rappers. That even goes for, you know, like, some, like, rock dudes that are all, like, toxic and shit. Or even, like, there's that one country singer, I don't know his name. It's terrible. I think it's, like, Waylon
Jennings?
No, something Walker. Maybe his name isn't Waylon.
Morgan Wallen?
Morgan. I don't know. He was, like, he's a super good-looking dude, and a bunch of girls were liking him. And then he had, like, a couple songs that were famous and shit. But then, like, apparently the guy is just, like, racist and likes to get drunk as fuck. So
Yeah,
then it
that's
started.
Morgan Wallen.
Yeah, it
He
started
said they
coming
caught
up.
him on tape saying the N-word and shit.
Yeah, he gets hammered and he's like yelling the N-word at people in the middle of the street and shit, and it's just like, yo, like, doesn't matter how much money that guy makes, that's who he is. You know what I mean?
100%, yeah.
At the end of the day, that's who that guy is.
Yeah.
You got any good or bad concert stories there, Zachariah?
The best concert I ever went to, hands down, was Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Ooh, that would probably be lit. Were you sober at the time, or?
I was super baked, but I wasn't drinking. I was with my buddy John.
What's the song that they sing?
They sing a
that's
lot.
like-
September.
Yeah.
What's like the main number one?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
Earth, Wind, and Fire. They sing Let's Groove. They sing a lot of great songs.
Yeah, that's a classic. That was 80s, right?
Late 70s,
Late
probably.
70s,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's like disco funk music, and they were
Yeah.
accompanied by Chicago.
Yeah, which is another
And
great band.
So at the end of the concert, there was like 25 live musicians playing their own individual instruments on the stage, and it was just a very cool vibe.
That's
And I
lit.
also
That
saw
would be dope.
Journey there at Rogers. Journey was sick.
That's awesome.
Saw Mac Miller a couple times. That was sick.
I've
Yeah,
seen-
I saw Mac Miller a couple times. Did you see him at
That's
Edmonton
sick.
Event
I'm
Center?
jealous
or
of
whatever?
that.
Yeah.
We were in the same room at the same time.
Probably,
We
yeah,
didn't
before we
even
even
know.
know each other. I
Like-
saw him both times he was here.
So did I.
What was
yeah.
that? Oh,
Sick.
09 or?
It was,
I
no,
don't
it would have been
remember.
2000. It was after I graduated high school, and I graduated in 2009.
Those years of my life
2010.
were...
Was that the first time he was here? I remember the first time he was like, I think 09.
Both
maybe
times, I
2010.
think he was at Edmonton Event Center.
I think
Was
so,
it?
yeah.
Yeah. I never got to go. I had a couple homies go. I didn't go though.
R.I.P.
Yeah.
That concert, I'm like 90% sure it was the Mac Miller concert is one of the times I should say that Josh being in the nightclub life was fucking sick. Because it was like an all ages show, right? There was an adult section and a kids section, but the kids are down to line up. They don't know any better. So we pull up to the mall and
Oh.
park, and this line is fucking massive, bro.
Dog.
And we're all like, dog, I ain't standing in no fucking line. I'll miss the opener, blah, blah, blah. Josh looks real quick. He's like, yo, pull up. I'm like, okay. Or no, I think he's like, park, whatever. We get out, and he's like, I don't know, fucking Matt, whatever the guy's name. He's like, yo, Matt. You gonna let me in? He's like, how many people you got with you? He's like, me and 4, and it's like, guys or girls? And Josh is like, fuck. It's like 4 dudes and 2 girls, and the guy's like, you're fucking lucky, man. And then just like let him in real quick. We got to skip the line. Like, fuck, I fucking hate waiting in the lines.
See, that's why I used to do half of this promotion and shit for him, man. Because I like seeing the artists. So just for me not to wait in line and shit like that, get my buddies in, get them free drinks because I was always a DD and shit like that. That was like half the reason I did that shit. So nice walking past everybody at the lineup. Yeah, anywhere like West Edmonton Mall, man. Anywhere where there's a huge outdoor lineup, bro.
The word.
So satisfying walking past everybody and
Yeah,
being like,
man.
"Yo, what up?" Little handshake, calling them by his first name, and you walk right past.
Look like
everybody.
a boss to everybody
Yeah, dog,
else.
yeah.
Yeah.
Or be getting brought in through the back door and shit. Fuck the front door. Fuck the lineup.
Yeah,
just
yeah.
fucking just come around the back, go right in. Yeah, that's the best, man. Meeting a lot of artists and stuff like that, a lot of DJs over the years. It's pretty cool.
Josh's dad, I mean, this is weird to even say on the podcast, but Josh's dad used to come clubbing with us sometimes too, and he had one of the biggest flexes like that I've ever seen with me. Him, and Josh were going into a club, and we walk in, there's a massive line, we skip the line, whatever, and Josh's dad goes in, no ID scan. Josh goes in, no ID scan, and they stop me. I'm like, I don't know any better. I'm like, start pulling out my wallet, blah, blah, blah. Josh's dad turns around and is like, what the fuck are you doing? I'm giving the fucking guy my ID. Like, I don't know, man, doing what I'm supposed to do. He looks at these, nah, man, he's cool. The guy hands me back my ID. He's like, all right, bro, just go. I'm like, all right. Fucking keep walking in.
Yeah.
Yeah, Josh's dad is a G.
Yeah. Big man.
Yeah.
Big old man. I've
I
seen a
never
picture
knew
of
him
that
during
guy
his
bench
prime,
500
man. Like,
pounds.
if I knew him during his prime, bro, that'd be scary. That's
Legitimate 500 pounds?
Yeah.
Because me and Buddy at work were talking about this the other day. That's a lot of fucking weight.
You've seen Josh's dad.
I have, yes.
The picture was him benching, bar fully up, no arms, I don't know, locked, but arms up, and I counted with the plate, 500 pounds.
Damn.
Yeah, dude. One time, one time Josh's dad was giving us shit for something that we shouldn't have done, and I was standing next to him, and he didn't even, like, cock his arm back at all. He pretty much, like, pushed me with his arm, with his fist closed, and he hit me in the arm, and, like, bro. My arm was sore for, like, I don't even know how. I mean, like, this guy literally put in, like, 2% effort. Like just like that. And, like,
Yeah.
bro, I was like, oh, my Lord. Like, My shit was all fucked up. Yeah, that's just a monster of a man right there.
That man punches like Joe Rogan does his spinning back
Straight
fucking
up.
kick.
Yeah.
Straight up, man. Straight up. One time we were in a smoke pit smoking. This is probably shit I shouldn't even be talking about. But we were smoking a joint, and some random person, like Josh and I, were passing it to each other, and some random person went to like grab it as a joke and like try to smoke it. And, oh man, Josh's dad like slapped it out of his hand. Was like, "Yo, you fucking touching my shit!" And Josh like didn't even concern himself with the other person. He just stepped. He's like, "Yo, dad, chill, man, chill." Then I stepped to the other person. I was like, "Yo, dog, just walk away. Just fucking walk away. Don't even say. Don't even look back. Just walk away, bro. Just walk. Leave if you. The best option is just leave. Honestly, just leave. But walk away, bro." And then Josh was like, "Yeah, I had to save that guy from dying." I was like, "Yeah, no, I was helping too. I didn't want him to get murdered either." So you have a series of questions for us today, do you?
I do have some questions for you guys. First of all, I wanted to know if you guys could play any one sport professionally and enjoy
Soccer.
Yep.
it. The correct answer, what is soccer? No, I'm just joking.
Football.
I would be the, let's be honest, right back for FC Barcelona if I could. If it was a dream, I'd clearly be the
and you
number
would have
10
to, and you got
for
to enjoy
Barcelona.
a nice career.
Oh, I'd be the number 10 for Barcelona, and he'd be the number 7 for Real Madrid. I can answer that
Yeah.
question for him.
I play tennis.
Tennis would be cool.
I played tennis for a long time in Germany. So I enjoy
Really?
it. It's a good sport, man.
No, I
You can make good money as a
I
tennis
enjoy
player
playing
too.
tennis too. It's kind of fun.
Yeah, like winning this
I'm always
competition.
worried about doing an ankle.
I just feel I would have never pictured you for a tennis guy. To be completely not.
I wasn't that big when I played tennis.
No, not
but,
like that. Not like that. But I feel like, yeah, if I figured you maybe be like, yeah, but
When you told me you played rugby, I understood it more than when you just told me you played tennis.
not because you're a big guy, but just because I don't know. Tennis is kind of
Personality. Yeah, no, it's all good.
personality type thing. Yeah, like
tennis is good shit, man. It's you get to fuck with people. Like you really,
I feel like
you get to make people run. Like that's the most satisfying
Yeah.
thing, bro. If you're a good tennis player and the other person's not as great, you can just watch them run around the whole fucking
force
their
it
half.
that way, force it that
Bro,
way.
It's hilarious, man.
Yeah, you're
Watch
taking
them
one
stumble and
step
shit,
and they're
like,
taking
oh.
12. Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you still good at tennis?
Actually, I haven't played in a long time, but I'd sure as fuck give it a shot.
Fair enough. Yeah.
See if
Play
I can make it run a
doubles?
couple laps.
Yeah, doubles would be easier because I'm always worried about because man, even watching I understand they're professionals, but when you gotta stop and your foot's sliding and you're like boom, man, you do an ankle quick.
You don't gotta worry so much if you're actually playing on proper shit. All the courts around here are on concrete, right? That's how you fuck up your ankle because you can't slide. You're doing that big step, but your foot's not sliding. You're legit stopped, and then your
Yeah.
ankle gives.
So
Yeah.
did
If
you
you're playing
play
on red
clay
ash and stuff like that,
or clay?
Clay.
yeah, clay and red ash, man, it's so easy because you just slide. You're all good. Even over the line, it's such a small, smooth surface. And a little bit of red dust under your fucking shoes, you'll just slide right over. It's actually really good. So once you start playing indoor on carpet, that's when it gets a little interesting.
Yes, I'm not sure I've ever actually played tennis.
I have.
Oh, yeah, dogs.
All racket
it's tough.
sports are pretty fun for the most part.
Badminton's
great.
fun too, 100%.
Badminton I've
Ping
played.
pong is fun.
Squash is fun.
yeah.
Racquetball's fun.
I've only played squash in gym.
Have you played pickleball?
I have.
At the beach and shit like
Pickleball's
that?
fun
yeah,
too,
yeah.
man.
Yeah.
I've heard it's a nice slow-paced, really fun game.
Yeah, it is.
It's
yeah.
just
Depends
fun
how
to
people
jack
play,
around.
man. If you're playing some competitive asshole, you can make it
Me?
not fun at all.
Well, that's
Me
the
and
thing.
Nico?
Pickleball is. They actually have a competitive
yeah.
pickleball league.
Well, they have a competitive keep the balloon off the floor league.
I
They also have a
guess.
competitive cornhole league too. So.
Competitive
Which is
tag,
actually-
bro.
Cornhole's so fun.
It's actually I've seen some sick shots.
Yeah, they
People
have
make some
strategy
sick
to
shots.
block in the hole.
Yeah,
on
man,
purpose.
yeah.
It's I'm lucky if I can make it land on the fucking board.
Yeah, get it in the hole.
Okay, the next question I have is: would you rather be able to only use one toilet, so one single toilet for the rest of your life, or never be able to use the same toilet twice? So once you've gone into one toilet, that toilet's dead to you, and you're dead to it.
You have to pick the one, man.
But what if you're traveling?
I've already thought about that. But imagine never being able to use the bathroom at your house. I bought this fucking condo. I own this bitch. And I'm only allowed to shit there twice because I have 2 bathrooms. And every other time I have to shit for the next however many years. I got to go find new locations.
I would just pee outside and poop outside and save that one toilet use up for a very special occasion.
When you really gotta
When
go.
you really
you can't
gotta
make it
go.
outside.
You gotta start using the kitty litter box.
Yeah.
You know, yeah, man. I'd have to just use. I'd be picking my bathroom in my house. Most of my shits happen there anyway.
True enough, me too. What about you guys?
Yeah, I would say the single toilet, because then you're not. Well, yeah, you're not on a hunt.
Yeah, imagine
You're not
imagine
hunting
that
for a
shit happens
toilet.
at like. I was gonna say some stupid hour of the night. Say it's like 2:30 in the morning, and you have to
You got
fucking
bubble
destroy
Taco Bell shit.
a
Yeah.
fucking bathroom. You're destroying this motherfucker. I don't give a fuck how good of neighbors we are. You wake me up at 2:30
Yeah,
in the
I was
fucking
gonna
morning,
say.
and you're like, yo, bruv, I gotta come in there and kind of like use your bathroom. It's an emergency. Right now, I already know that's not gonna be a nice, clean fucking poop that you're gonna be in and out 2 minutes. You're in there destroying my
Spraying
goddamn
that shit.
bathroom. I gotta wait for you to leave at 2:30 in the morning. So now I gotta sit here and just stay awake while you're in my bathroom shitting. Yeah, man, you'd have to be a special type of friend to let that happen.
Yeah, I'd only use the same toilet too. I hate public bathrooms to begin with.
I despise is a tough word, but like, if it's feasible, I'm waiting until I get home.
Straight up. And like the worst thing for me is like porta potties or like the national park toilets where it's just a hole in the ground that you're sitting over, bro. Straight up, just straight anxiety that shit's gonna collapse and I'm gonna fall in this pit. I'm just like, nah, dog. I'm not having it.
I've gone camping a couple times in this place that like one of our groups of friends go to all the time, and they have like how would you describe? It's like a set toilet, you know, at Pocatera. It's like a set little 4 toilets, like little square of toilets, and they're all got their own individual doors, but it's pretty grimy in there. And the one time I'm like, we're camping, I've been drinking, drugging, whatever, so it's like a gnarly shit. And I'm just looked over, and there's just a mouse staring me straight in the face. And it's like fucking 7 a.m., whatever, and I'm just like, fuck it. Like, I didn't even bother him. I'm like, bro, we're sharing the spot, man. Like, you do you, I gotta do me, dude. We're good. So, yeah. Where you shit is definitely, it's like one of the finer things in life to make that a comfortable place.
It's a huge comfort thing, even for animals, man. Animals will not shit unless they're feeling comfortable. So like,
Yeah, that's why a dog makes fucking 12 circles before it takes a dump.
The funniest thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, the next question, and when you brought up baseball earlier, that's why I said it has to do with this. It's because the reason I had to play high school baseball is because I had a pretty bad leg injury. So I want to know, what's the worst injury you guys have ever had?
Whew.
I've only really have like 2 real injuries. One of them I can't remember if it was the ligaments or the tendons, but I tore the ligaments. Like, I think the doctor said it was like a 80 or a 90% tear or something like that of the tendons on my left ankle. I was playing basketball. I was coaching a team, and I just was driving. We were just running a drill, and I was driving to the hoop, and I went to step around the kid because I was like, fuck, I'm the coach. I shouldn't just like I'm a pretty aggressive person in sports because of like my size. Like, I'm not the fastest guy, I'm not the strongest guy, but I've got like a good mix of both. So like, this guy was a pretty big kid. He wasn't like grade 10, but he was a pretty big kid. And like 9 times out of 10, even if you were small, I don't give a fuck. I'm just gonna meet you at the rim and like hit you and just try and finish. But in that split second of like crossing the free throw line, I was like, oh man, I should not do that. I'm the coach. So I went to step out of the way. But this kid had been watching me play basketball for a little while, so he thought I was just going to run through him. So he tried to step out of the way, and I just stepped on his foot and just completely fucking popped
Rolled your ankle?
Just popped all the tendons, or popped the tendon on the left side ankle, yeah. And then when I was in the 10th grade, I actually, like, knocked myself out on the Eiffel Tower, like in Paris.
Oh, for the real Eiffel Tower.
Yeah, the real
Sick.
one, yeah.
Sick.
Well, if you're going to knock yourself out anywhere, it might as well be a
Well,
freaking
that might
monument.
be the place to do it, right?
Right?
Yeah. I'll div like the Coles Notes version. I was in Europe with like a school trip. We took the elevator and all that up. We were at the top of the Eiffel Tower. I have a cousin that's like 6 weeks younger than me. She's like my younger sister, really. And this dude she had a crush on, like, asked her out as the light show was going on. Like, best night in the world for her. Let Fred go fuck it up. Me and 3 other guys, they're like, yo, we're gonna race down the stairs. I'm like, all right, bet. I'm a pretty competitive person. As I've aged, I've got better at being competitive. But like in high school, man, like I really did not like losing. So I was in second to last place, so I started just like jumping stairs at the end, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then, yeah, I just cranked my head on a beam, got knocked unconscious. The guy behind me was actually the person who had just asked out my cousin, and he was a lifeguard. He yelled down to the other two. They came back up. They said I was out for probably like 30 seconds ish is what they guessed. I started coming to. Apparently, like, I had not as long of hair as I do now, but I had long hair at the time. There was blood all in my hair, all down my face. I was wearing like an NFL jersey, a white t-shirt, and a wife beater. All of them had blood on it. My pants had blood on it. My shoes had blood on them. The one guy said by the time I got off the ground, there was probably like a basketball-sized puddle of blood, like, already pooling behind my head. We'd been in Europe for like 13 days at the time. I don't know how many socks. The guy that was behind me, the lifeguard's name was Nathan. I don't know how many socks Nathan brought, but he just whipped off one or two of his socks and pressed them to my head, try and stop the bleeding. He said they became red like fucking instantly. I don't know if either of you have ever been to Europe, but I know Dan has. There's always there's always African dudes selling like sunglasses and purses and wallets and shit. And apparently one of them came up to my friend Nathan and was like, yo, let me, like, I don't even know what was said, but the guy gave him my sock. Or Nathan gave this random person selling shit on the street his sock literally dripping with my blood. And just gave it to him. I was like, dog, why would you do that? Like, what the fuck? Like, that's fucked up. Not cool that guy just has my blood all on a sock. That's kind of fucked up. We went to like a little emergency thing. They called an ambulance for me. I went to the hospital. My cousin came with me. And then this teacher, who's actually like one of my favorite teachers ever, she was the fucking shit. She came with me to the hospital. Remarkably, they spoke very little English for a fucking hospital in Paris, France. I would have thought someone would have spoke decent English. They hardly did any tests on me. The guy told me I needed surgery. I was like, yo, what? Like, surgery? And he's like, oh no, sorry, stitches. And I was like, bro, like,
and you get those two mixed up.
That's like the extreme opposites of what I wanted to hear right now. Stitches and surgery. And then they ended up landing on staples. So he didn't even numb me, nothing. The only concussion check he did was shine a light in my face, ask me a couple questions. He told me I needed 5 staples. So I counted them. He like hit me with all 5 and I completely let my guard down. Boom, hit me with a 6th one. I yelled fuck really loud because like I really did not see that coming. My cousin, who was still in the waiting room, said that she heard me in the waiting room. And I was like, oh damn. And then the best part of the story is right at the end. The guy, he's like, all right, man, like that's pretty much it is what it is. Here's some pills. And I think he gave me like 3 Tylenol 4s, I think it was. And he was like, take one of these every 8 hours. I just popped 2 right in front of him. And then like, this is the fucked up thing, man, is he had this like fucked up French accent the whole time. Then as soon as I popped the 2 pills in front of him, he's just like, have fun. Like, perfect, clear as day. I was like, what the fuck? How did you just fucking fuck up surgery and stitches 10 minutes ago? And now that's happened, I was like, that's all fucked up. And then I left back to Canada literally the next day. And then like 6 months later, I got a letter in the mail written all in French that said like 64 or 68 euros at the bottom. And I was like, what the fuck? I don't speak any French, so I took it to school. Got my French teacher to read it. He bursts out laughing. I'm like, what's up? He's like, oh man, like you didn't pay the hospital when you left. I was like, no, I just left. He's like, yeah, dude, like that's Canada. This isn't fucking, you were in Paris. Like you're in France. He's like, they don't have free shit over there, man. Like you literally just skipped out on a hospital bill. And this piece of paper says they've been trying to contact you for 6 months and they have no way of contacting you, which was bullshit. I only got 1 letter. They didn't contact me at all. And they were like, yeah, this says that you left the country without paying like a debt. So if you don't pay this bill and you ever return to like the European Union or whatever, you'll be arrested. And I was like, oh shit. So we just sent that money over and now I was no longer a fugitive in France. But.
Nice.
What about you guys?
Well, I got 2. One's like incapacitated me and one was like super gruesome, so we don't have much time left. Which one do you guys want to hear?
Gruesome.
The gruesome one's better.
So I lived in a condo complex that had a little park inside of it, and in this park it had 2 slides that were like wavy. So when you go down the slide, you pick up fucking speed. I don't know what compelled me to go down the slide that was broken, that had a crack in it, because they were side by side. And the second slide had a crack in it right at the very bottom, man, right at the very bottom. and I'm going down this slide, and like I'm holding on to the sides and going like nice and slow, and then all of a sudden I lose my gripping, go down the fucking slide, and I was wearing these, like, I remember, man, these little blue shorts, man. They were like fucking
Lululemons?
no, they were like
Those little blue soccer shorts.
they were tight. They were like tight, like not, I can't think of the
Spandex?
not spandex, but like no. They were just a small fucking size for me, you know what I mean? So anyways, they were like felt or some kind of material.
Some sailor shorts.
Something like that. And when I went down the slide, the crack in it was like fucking that long. And my ball sack got caught in the slide, ripped open.
Oh.
And I was fucking crying and bleeding and fucking... We were at a party for one of the kids that lived in the condo complex. And my sister and a couple other people were going to get some chairs so we could play some musical chairs. And I'm like, nah, Nina. Fucking crying and bleeding. I'm like, I'm bleeding. And then
I'm gonna ask Nina about this next time.
Yeah, man. Ask her. Yeah, man. And then I think I walked from the center of the condo complex down to the fucking... Down to where... the party was at, and they called an ambulance and shit. I'm fucking bleeding everywhere. Went to the hospital. My mom said, like, when I was laying on the bed, there was like fucking 8 or 10 male doctors that were like, what the fuck? This is fucked, man. They're like, oh my God. And yeah, they stitched me up with like 13 stitches, I think. And like now I got a scar on my bag that's like...
Nico has literally seen his testicle. I remember asking you about that.
You've heard of Scarface. Now we have Scar Bag.
Yeah, man. I fucking seen my nutsack, or like my ball, and it was like a white ball hanging onto a cord. You know what I mean? And yeah, now I got a scar. It's like fucking a Harry Potter
like
lightning
an
bolt.
albino grape.
Yeah.
Somebody asked me, "What do balls smell like? Blah, blah, or smell like? Look like?" Da, 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 da. And then I remember I was like, "Oh, they're just like little white balls." And they're like, "How do you know?" I was like, "Cause my buddy's seen his." And they were like, "What?" And I was like, "I don't know. He's seen them."
If you want me to show, if you want to see the scar, maybe I'll post it up.
I got a scar from the Eiffel Tower.
You guys won't know what it is though.
What about you, Dan? What about your worst injury?
I've been pretty fortunate in my life, and I haven't done too much stupid shit. I did fuck up my ankle really bad when we're on rugby practice, though. Never got it checked out. Hobbled for fucking weeks. And now 10 years later, it's fucking me over, you know? It's like fucking up my whole stance and shit like that. So my knees hurting, my hips hurting, my ankles hurting, just because I never got that checked out. So should probably go see a physiotherapist for that.
For sure, yeah.
But I've been fortunate. I've never broken anything. I've never had anything that's required stapling or stitching or anything like that. So I've been pretty good. I've had a couple of nasty burns, you know. But, yeah, that's about it.
Lucky you.
Yes.
And you?
When I was 13, I broke my femur in a football practice. Oof. It was an open compound fracture. I was trying to spin around the guy, and he tackled me, and my bone popped out my skin. I got a huge scar here now. I took 52 staples.
Damn.
And then it broke my growth plate. So then in the following years, my legs were kind of... This part of my leg was not growing, and this part of my leg was growing. So now my legs are like an inch or so apart.
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can actually see that.
Yeah, and I have still pins in this knee to fuse my growth plate to stop it from growing so that my legs didn't grow out of whack and everything. That's about it. I broke a couple knuckles in football too, but that's... Yeah, just the old leg injury. And then I couldn't play high school ball, so I was like, what am I going to do now? And I played baseball.
Your other injury was a broken leg.
I broke my leg. I broke both of these.
Tibia and
fibula, and then it fucking... Both the bones, like, broke, and then they twisted into each other, so it's like fucking... Yeah, I was out for, like, 3 months or whatever, 3 or 4 months.
You had a full leg cast.
Full leg cast, yeah. And then, like, by the time I was going to get that shit taken off, I had peeled it all the way down to fucking there. Because it was, like... Yeah, it was super annoying. My leg was like this all the time, and I was just like, this is fucking gay. You know what I mean? I ended up walking from...
The skate park?
No, I lived in Surrey at the time, and my mom and I got into a huge scrap, and I was like, "Yo, fuck you! I'm going to my grandma's house," because my grandma lived there too at the time, and I don't know how I remember where she lived. I lived there for like fucking 4 months, and I walked probably 10 kilometers.
With a broken leg.
With a broken fucking leg, yeah, and like people were like looking at me and shit, and I was just like, I walked over like a highway, and like, yeah, it was fucked, man.
Wild.
Yeah, so.
That would have fucked. I had just given out on you on your walk home. You just
Yeah.
Like Will Ferrell and Austin Powers when he like goes over the cliff and he's like, I think I've broken my leg. I'm gonna try to put some weight on it. Yes, it's definitely broken.
That's been another episode of 7 Days Makes 1 Week. Thanks for joining us. I got to say all the YouTube shit at the beginning. Thanks to Dan. So, peace.
Shout out Hamm Porter.
HP.
HP.
Hewlett Packard.